Hi, my name is Coralie Jensen, and I will be presenting on Scenario 1 from Chapter 5 of the book Understanding Accounting Ethics by Mark Chiefers and Michael Pakaluk. Just to summarize the scenario, a new staff accountant is tasked with auditing loan files, and she has a checklist of 15 different items for each loan file that she must test. And she's noticing that her coworker is getting done a lot faster than her. He has almost twice as many loan files, and he's doing the same one loan file in about half the amount of time that she is taking. And so after a few days, she inquires with him as to why he is able to get through his loan files so much faster. And he told her that they didn't really have to drill down into the loan files, and they're just supposed to make the work papers look good because the partners and managers had already done a lot of the risk assessment on these files. So he didn't say it, but it was implied that she didn't have to test every file. She could really just take a sample. And from that, the way I see it is she only has two options on how to handle this situation. Those two options are presented next. The first option is she could do what she's actually supposed to, and she could review every file, but the risk with that is that she would go over budget both in time and billable hours. So the solution to that problem is I think she should approach the partner, talk about the situation, try and find a more effective way to perform the task, see if the partner has any ideas on that. She should analyze the system that she's doing the testing and see if there's a bottleneck in the system and try and work around that bottleneck, see if she can become more efficient. She should also let the partner know of any shortcuts that are being taken by her coworker. And while no one wants to be a tattletale with their coworkers and they want to be liked, it's better that that partner find out now about the risk that's happening with the shortcuts taken at work rather than later when they have an issue and the firm gets in trouble for not fulfilling its audit duties. Finally, she needs to just sit down with the partner and go over the expectations of the job and cover what is expected of her time and budget-wise, and maybe take that time to explain why that may not be obtainable and try and resolve that with the partner. The second option is the less ethical option, and that's to follow her coworker's example and to only do part of the audit work. The advantage to this is she stays within budget and she isn't met with confronting the partner at all. So she would only review some of the files and take a sample of the files. The downside of this is she'll always have to live with the question of whether this was the right decision, which it wasn't. So I don't think she'd ever be able to honestly answer that it was the right decision. She would also have to constantly wonder what would happen if someone found out. In my opinion, there's no question which decision she should choose. She should obviously choose the first one because the stress and heartache of trying to keep the unethical decision to herself is just not worth it, and it would have just been easier to take the extra time to do the work. In conclusion, I just want you to think about the situation and ask yourself what you would do. When I asked myself that question, I decided that if I was in that situation, I would sit down with the partner, go through the expectations, go through what was happening, and try and resolve that and see if we could work out a compromise that would both be ethical and also appease the partner's expectations. And just a thought to leave you with is that being ethical is hard and it does take a lot of work, but in the long run, it truly is worth it. Thank you.